Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is a very special video for me because I reached 100,000 subscribers and I am so happy. I wanted to thank you so much for supporting my channel and watching my videos. It means a lot to me. And as a thank you, I will be doing a giveaway next week on my Instagram page. I will be giving away AirPods and chocolate molds, so be sure to follow me to get more details soon. And in this video, I'm going to be making a surprise breakable heart. This is gonna be for me, for my 100,000 subscribers. And I'm going to be answering a lot of your questions that sometimes I don't have time to answer in the comments, but I will be answering a lot of questions here. And I'm going to begin by making the breakable heart. And one of your questions is, how much chocolate do I need for a breakable heart? I'm using only half of this bag. This is a 12-ounce bag, so you only need like 7 to 8 ounces of chocolate. And the best chocolate to use is confectionery coatings, candy melts, because you don't need to temper this chocolate. Another question is, what size is your mold? Because I ordered one and it looks like it's a little smaller. My mold is 7.87 inches wide and 6.1 inches tall. Another question is, why is my chocolate so thick and I cannot get it nice and smooth? This is what I use and it works for me. I add a little bit of coconut oil, or you can also use this Crisco shortening sticks. I start by adding only half a teaspoon, and if I feel like it needs a little more, I add a little bit more, like another half a teaspoon. And the way I melt my chocolate, I put my whole cup for a minute first, and then I add the organic oil and put it back for 30 seconds. I used to do intervals of 30 seconds, but it takes longer, and I noticed that if I do it this way, my chocolate comes out better. So I do a minute first, add the organic oil or the oil that you're adding, and then 30 seconds, and you get your chocolate nice and smooth like this. If you feel like it's still a little thick, you can add a little bit more of your coconut oil and put it back for only 15 or 20 seconds in the microwave. Another question is, why my heart keeps breaking when I remove it from the mold? And it's probably because you're making the first layer very thin. So you need to really concentrate on the first layer. You have to go all around the mold, especially you need to really cover the sides. That's where the heart gets really weak. And if you don't have enough chocolate around the sides on the first layer, your heart is not gonna come out nice and it's going to break. One thing that I do and it works for me is that I wait until the chocolate is getting almost hard, and I just keep using my spoon around the edges so I know that it's nice and covered around the sides. And now we're going to clean the sides before we place it in the freezer, so this way your heart is nice and clean. And always place your heart on a tray or a plate so it can be nice and straight. And now we're going to do the second layer after having the heart in the freezer for 10 minutes. Now I'm going to add the second layer, and on the second layer I'm going to be doing the same, just concentrating on the sides, since we know that all the chocolate kind of tends to go in the bottom. So we know that the bottom is nice and thick. So now we are just going to concentrate on the sides and just make sure that it's nice and covered. And we're going to place it back in the freezer for another 10 to 15 minutes. Just don't overdo it, because if it's like really frozen, that's when you can break it when you unmold it. And now I'm going to remove it from the mold, and to remove it, it should be pretty easy if your sides are nice and thick. So just very gently try to separate the mold from the chocolate. And to remove the mold from the top, it's really easy. Don't be afraid, just peel it off and it's gonna come off very easy. And as you guys can see, my heart is nice and shiny. I clean my mold with alcohol. I use vodka. But one of your questions was, if I don't want to use vodka to clean my mold, what can I do? You don't need to use anything. These molds are already giving you a nice shine. And by adding the coconut oil to your chocolate, that's gonna give a nice shine to your chocolate. So if you don't want to use it, you don't really have to use it. And now I'm gonna go ahead and make some chocolate covered strawberries. And one of your questions was, where did you get your strawberries? Because they are so big. I buy them at my local Walmart, Sam's Club, or Sprouts, and I always find really nice strawberries. Another question was, do I have to freeze my strawberries to dip them in chocolate? No, your strawberries should be at room temperature, so your strawberries won't start leaking juice so soon. And now I'm going to cover some of my strawberries in this dark chocolate. To cover your strawberries is really easy. Just make sure that you place one of the skewers or any wood stick in the hard part of the strawberry so you can easily dip them in the chocolate. And now I'm going to transfer the rest of my chocolate to a piping bag so I can make some decorations. Another question was, what can I do so my piping bag doesn't get cold so quick? One thing that I do is to place the tip from my piping bag inside the chocolate. And this way the tip is not gonna get cold. And trust me, this is gonna make your work so much easier and faster. And now with these molds, I'm going to make some decorations for my strawberries. And to make these letters is really easy. Just add a little bit of the chocolate to each of the letters. Just make sure that you don't add too much of the chocolate so that way you don't have to clean it after. So just add a little bit to each letter, clean it at the end, and just put it in the freezer for 5 to 10 minutes or until you see that the letters are separating from the mold. You'll be able to tell when the chocolate is nice and set because the chocolate separates from the mold. And to remove these chocolates from the mold is really easy. Just make sure that you first kind of press on the top and then just tap it on the counter and they should start coming off very easy. And this is what I mean by saying that the chocolate separates from the mold. As you can see, the chocolate is separating from the tray. So that's when you know that you can remove it from the mold. And now I'm going to add some of this edible dust. This dust, you can apply it two ways. One will be just to dust it, just with a brush. You kind of like paint it and it will paint really good. Or another way is to mix your edible dust with a little bit of vodka, or you can also mix it with lemon extract. Another question that I had was if the gold is edible. And to be honest, most of the luster dust or the gold are not edible. When you buy it, it says that it's non-toxic. For example, this is the one that I use for another video. This one only says not toxic, but in the label it says cake, so it's really tricky. I found this one on Amazon and this one says that it's 100% edible. But when you go and read all the way to the disclaimer, it also says not FDA approved. So for this edible gold dust or luster dust, just be careful. So I really recommend that you do your own research and make sure that you get the one that you feel like it's 100% edible. Especially if you sell strawberries, maybe just place it on the decorations and just let them know that the decoration should be removed and just probably not apply it on your strawberries, only if it's edible. And now I'm going to make some decorations to my strawberries. I'm going to make some lines, and to make these lines is really easy, especially when you have the skewer. You only have to move that hand where you have the skewer, just kind of twist it, and you don't really have to move your hand with the chocolate, and you'll have your nice lines. And I'm also going to cover some strawberries in this white chocolate. This is from Ghirardelli. This is my favorite because it's really easy to melt. The only thing that I don't like about this chocolate is that it's really thin. The coverage, it's not as thick as the Wilton. So with this chocolate, sometimes I like to do a double dip so my strawberries look like whiter and the coverage looks better, but this is really up to you. But as you can see here, this one only has one coat, and you can see the red a little bit. So I'm going to dip it in the chocolate one more time so you can see the difference. And this is how it looks when you do double coats. As you can see, it looks way better. And now I'm going to transfer my chocolate to a piping bag so I can make some lines to my strawberries too. And now I'm gonna go ahead and apply some of my gold dust. And as you can see, I'm only dusting the strawberry with my brush. I didn't mix it with anything, and the gold gets really nice in the chocolate. And this is the one that says on Amazon that is 100% edible. I will leave the link for you guys, but please, you guys, double check to see if you wanna buy this. And I'm also going to add it a little bit on the lines. And now I'm going to mix it with a little bit of vodka, or you can mix it with lemon extract. And I want you to see the difference when you just dust it or when you paint it. And I think painting looks much nicer. And this is how it looks when you paint it and you mix it with vodka, or when you just dust the powder in the strawberry, in the chocolate. So you can decide. I think both look nice, but when you paint it, it looks more brighter. And now I'm going to add all my letters. I'm making the letter thank you and gracias. As you guys know, I make my videos in Spanish, but per your request, or a lot of you guys, I'm making my videos in English. I had a lot of requests, so here I'm doing my best. And now to make the YouTube sign, I'm using a wax paper. I just cut it into a rectangle, and I'm just adding a little bit of red chocolate on the top of the rectangle and just let it dry. I also cut a triangle for the place sign, so I'm just using white chocolate, just place it on top of the triangle and let it dry. And once it's nice and dried, you just have to cut it with a knife. So just follow along the line of the wax paper and it should be pretty easy. And if you want to make it even more nice and straight, you can just get a hot knife and just do the same. Just follow along the lines so you can get a really nice rectangle. And now I'm just going to glue it with my white chocolate. So just placing that design on top of the breakable heart. And now we have a YouTube breakable heart. And now in the inside, I'm going to be placing my 100K. This is made from chocolate. And I'm just using a cake board to place it on top. And if you guys want to make this as a gift, if you know someone that you want to surprise with something like this, you can just place your breakable heart on the top, and then I have these white flowers. I'm going to place it all over the box, and I'm just going to place my strawberries on the sides. I'm going to be doing the thank you strawberries on one side and the gracias on the other side. And I'm also placing some roses on the bottom just to make it stand out more with the red. I hope this video was helpful. I hope I did answer some of your questions. And if you guys have any other questions, don't forget to leave me your comments. And thank you so much again for the support. And I almost forgot to answer this question. You guys asked me if you guys can make this a few days before. Yes, you can make this a few days before, even a week. I have this one since like 2 weeks ago, and look, my chocolate is still nice and fresh. I just keep it inside a box. I place a paper towel on the bottom and I keep it nice and sealed. These boxes, you can find them at the Dollar Tree, and your chocolate is going to stay nice and fresh, and when you break it, it's gonna break nicely. It's not gonna be soft. I hope this helps. And thanks again for staying until the end of the video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram so you guys can enter in the giveaway.